All right, my friends, today we are going to do text structures and we are going to focus on problems and solutions. We all have problems and it's up to us to find solutions. That's not really what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about writing and how writing can help us solve problems. Sometimes our writing can help answer questions or problems that people might have. So, the purpose of a problem and solution writing is to provides a problem and describes how it can be or is solved. So, it gives you how do you solve it. Some of the words, that you might see in a problem solution article or writing would be problem, solution. Those are kind of giveaways. And I might also see the word resolution. All right, so open with me to the problem and solutions page. And we're going to discover in this writing what the problem is and what the author says are some solutions. So follow along as I read. Problem and solution, a good night's sleep. What natural thing do we do for nearly 1/3 of our lives? The answer is sleep. If we do this every night, why do some people have trouble sleeping? Sometimes people cannot sleep because they are anticipating something exciting, like a special party or event. Have you ever been so excited, like maybe on Christmas Eve and you can't sleep, or maybe the next day's your birthday and you can't sleep? But sleeping is also difficult when we are stressed or nervous. I've had that happen too. So, what can you do to help you sleep? One thing is to set up a sleep schedule. Try to get to bed at the same time each night. Getting the right number of hours for your body is also important. While some people need more than 10 hours, others feel good with just 6. So, what is the problem in this article? The problem is sometimes people can't sleep, right? So, on our problem section, we're going to write, sometimes people can't sleep. Okay, sometimes people can't sleep. In here, it gives some solutions. So, what were the solutions that it said? It said, try to set up a sleep schedule. So, a solution might be to have a set sleep schedule. Okay, so that is a solution to this problem. Okay. And it also says to try to get to bed at the same time each night. So go to bed at the same time. Okay, I think Mrs. McCullough talks about this, about the importance of getting to bed about the same time. It's really hard on your body if one night you go to bed at 8 and the next night you go to bed at 10:30 and then the next night you go to bed at 9 and then the next night you go to bed at 7 and then the next night maybe you go to bed at 11:30. Okay, that makes our bodies go a little bit wonky. Okay, so if you're having problems sleeping, getting on a schedule is going to help us. It also, another solution is to get the right amount of hours of sleep. So if you get too many or too few, then the next night you might have problems sleeping. So get the right amount of sleep. And that depends. Some people need more sleep. Other people don't need quite as much. but however much you need is how much you should get each night. All right, so our problem and possible solutions. All right, let's go to the next page, problem and solution. And for this, you are going to need 2 colors of crayons or colored pencils. You're going to need a green and a yellow. So pause the video and grab a green and yellow. Okay. All right, so it says highlight the problem in yellow and the solution in green. Okay, so we're going to find the problem in yellow and the solution in green. And I'm just going to highlight those so I remember what I'm looking for. All right, after the fire. After the fire, thousands of people were left homeless. Many escaped the fire with nothing except the clothes on their backs. Providing all of these people with food, clean water, and shelter was a huge task. Luckily, the city quickly formed a relief aid society. This group started giving out food donations that were pouring in from other cities. The society built places for people to live, gathered the tools that people needed to rebuild their houses, and even vaccinated 64,000 people against smallpox. So, what was the problem? That's our yellow. Get your yellow. What was the problem? After the fire, thousands of people were left homeless. Many escaped the fire with nothing except the clothes on their backs. Providing all these people with food, clean water, and shelter was a huge task. So there's a couple different things. The first problem that they had was the fire. Okay, that was the first problem. And this is kind of like cause and effect. Because of the fire, they didn't have any food, clean water, or shelter. So that was another problem. Okay. And then now we're going to find the solution. So grab your green. Okay. Luckily, the city quickly formed a relief aid society. Oh, so what was one of their solutions? The Relief and Aid Society. Yeah. This group started giving out food donations. So that was another one of their solutions that were pouring in from other cities. The society built places for people to live. So they got them places to live. I'm going to highlight that. Gathered tools that people need. So I'm going to highlight tools. Needed to rebuild their houses, and even vaccinated, that means gave shots, to 64,000 people against smallpox. So our problem was the fire, and people had no food, clean water, and shelter. And then this was the solution to that. Okay. All right. Let's do the last one. Moving east to west. Oh, we know all about that. At one time, Americans couldn't get from coast to coast by train. The train tracks did not go all the way across the United States. People had to travel for months just to reach their destination. Then, in the early 1860s, the railroad companies decided to begin building a transcontinental railroad. That means one that goes from the east to the west. This railroad would take travelers from the east to the west in a matter of days instead of months and months, like a covered wagon. All right, so let's look at the problem. What was the problem? At one time, Americans couldn't get from coast to coast by train. So that is the problem. They could not travel where they wanted to travel in a train. So what was the solution? Then, in the early 1800s, the railroad companies decided to begin building a transcontinental railroad. So, our solution is the Transcontinental Railroad. That solved the problem from people moving east to west. without having to go in a covered wagon. They could get on a train and travel it in just a few days. All right, my friends, problems and solutions. Be problem solvers. Find solutions that work for you. And you can even write about them. All right, my friends, goodbye.